Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and this is my tips and tricks guide for Ultra Instinct Goku and Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, as always, these videos, they tend to be pretty long, so if you want to skip around to various points here, there'll be timestamps in the video description and in the top pinned comment. So that said, let's start at the start and let's just go over his basic moveset. So for his moveset here, he's got a lot to work with. He's got a lot more than the average character. I think that's very fair to say. So before we even start with these special moves, let's start with his command normals. So first up here we have 6H, forward and heavy. That is the secret sensation, and it's a god-awful name. I just call it the counter stance. And well, what does it do? Well, he enters a stance, and if anything hits him, he counters it, basically. So I do have a pretty in-depth video on this already. That'll be linked at the end of this video if you want to check that out. But suffice to say, it goes through basically everything, right? That's the long story short. Any attack, basically anything that is not a grab. So you can get Dragon Rush, you can get Command Grab. Those will still get you. But anything else, you will go to the other side. And depending on distance, depending on the move, you might have advantage or you might have disadvantage. Sometimes you get a straight punish. Now, other times, you might be so negative you can't do anything but block, but you always do get the block. This move could be so negative it's negative 100, but it doesn't matter. He is full invulnerable until the frame he recovers. So even if he hits a really bad situation, he's like negative 100 after doing this, he still always gets to block no matter what. Now we have 6S, forward S if you will here, the Shining Soul. And this is a very unique attack here. So the part where he tosses the projectile, that is a true ki blast, so you can homing dash through it. However, the hits beforehand, those are actual like physical attacks, and they can beat homing dashes. So in the end, its main use is going to be more trickery, combo fodder stuff. You're going to rarely want to do this in neutral. If you got time to beat out a homing dash with it, you had time to down heavy it, and you're going to get a lot more damage in the end. So yeah, just buyer beware on that, but still, it looks neat, has a lot of practical uses, especially in TOD stuff, combo stuff. So hey, there it is. UI Goku also has a fully unique property in that he is allowed to attack while recovering from any kind of knockdown. So if you knock down, you still have, all sorts of recovery options, tech up, tech down, all that kind of stuff, right? But if you hold whatever macro you have set for your Dragon Rush while you are recovering, what he's going to do instead is flip out, teleport, and strike at the enemy. Now, it doesn't matter where the enemy is on screen, he will always meet them no matter how high, how low, wherever they are. And he will always meet them from that point. And also, you get to like combo afterwards, you can vanish afterwards, extended, that kind of stuff, or you can just super cancel it, that kind of stuff. That is pretty all well and good. Now, the big thing to note, there's going to be a very strong temptation of, I don't want to play this game, I don't want to get knocked down, I don't want to have to hold pressure, and you're going to want to do this, right? Keep in mind, this move is death on block. It is incredibly negative. You can vanish if you want to. It's not going to save you. You're always going to get down heavied afterwards. So only use this sparingly. Get out of jail card, get out of jail free cards are very tempting to use all the time, but only pull this out of your back pocket every now and then, because if you get predictable with it, you're going to take whatever hit that put you down to begin with, and the second hit is going to finish the job and get rid of your character. Now on to the proper special moves. So first up here we have the Godly Display. That's quarter circle forward, light, medium, and heavy. And this move is pretty good, honestly. So the light version startups, it's alright. The medium has some pretty severe startup. However, the medium, unlike the other versions, does truly go full screen. And the EX version goes about half screen-ish, maybe a little closer, and has very quick startup. Now, the beauty of these moves here, well, one, for the light and the medium versions, easy to follow up, vanish, or if you got an assist, whatever. Easy recombo stuff. The heavy version, you don't even need to worry about that. You can, like, literally stand still, hit down M, you'll get your combo. So that's all cool. Now, they are also full invincible for a brief period, not during the startup. So while he's like slouching his arms like a caveman, not so much then. But once the actual rush forward starts, you can see it says full invincible. So you can kind of go through a lot of stuff. Once again, you got a lot of startup, and that invincibility does not happen right away, but you do have the ability to go through stuff. And the true awesome benefit of this is it is incredibly safe on block. No matter which version of this move you do, it is only -2 on block. And -2, well, you know, it's never ideal to be negative. -2 is not a big deal. -2 is if they start mashing afterwards, you can easily backdash and punish for most characters, not all. You can easily also go into the secret sensation, as you'll easily be able to catch any button they press, that kind of stuff. It's not that big of a deal. For the reward you get, especially how rip and quick like the EX version is and how abusable that is, -2 is like a very fair price to pay. -2 is not that big of a deal. So yeah, man, hey, this move is legit. We have the Autonomous Fist. These names are pretty out there. That's quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy in the air. And the main use of this is specifically, it is going to be one of your go-to combo enders, specifically the medium above all. The medium almost always, unless you are getting a very elaborate and very advanced combo, almost always is going to give you a sliding knockdown. It's a solid sliding knockdown as well. And it's going to be how you are going to end a lot of your combos. So the medium of the three is the breadwinner. One thing to note, the EX version will always switch sides, which in of itself can be fine, because the level 3 always switches sides and the base level 1 always switches sides. So if you want to make sure you're on the same side, you want to keep the corner, this is going to be how you're going to do it. You're going to spend a little bit extra bar, sure, but you know what? You get more damage, all that fun stuff, so it kind of all works out in the end. But yeah, the main use is going to be combo stuff. And the flips, oh my lord, this is one of the best things about the character to be sure. They're the Godly Strike, Transcendence, and Embodied Light, otherwise Flip L, Flip M, Flip H. So Flip L is a strike. And I should note here, all the flips are projectile invincible, by the way, until the actual move starts, which is good. But yeah, Flip L is a strike, and in and of itself, that's good, and we'll talk more about it, because, oh my god, the light flip has so much going for it. Oh my lord. That'll be later sections. But yeah, one of the biggest deals here is Flip L, on top of, you know, doing what it does, is plus on block, and it's +3. Plus on block in this game is very rare. You either got to have a very long wind-up move, or you got to spend bar. And for a 30-frame move that has a defensive property built into it to begin with, let alone other options, yo, this is really, really good. So yeah, Flip L is a breadwinner. Let's just put it out that way. Flip M is a true command grab. So once again, it's a little slower than the average command grab, being 30 frames, but then again, you get other options like a plus on block strike from it. And all these, by the way, are air okay, so you can like flip in the air, come down on the ground, and we're going to talk, it's going to have its own section later, so we'll talk about more. And Flip H, just for the sake of completion, is a semi-invulnerable flip. Now, it's not invulnerable on frame 1 like some other moves he has, like this guy here, but it have some invincibility. Now, the thing to note here is it does cause a restand on the ground. So if I go like light flip here, well, that's not a combo, whatever, you know what I mean. I can then, from here, okay, gotcha, and I can just recombo from standing from there. And that's pretty cool. If it catches the enemy in the air, it's a wall bounce instead. So it helps with recombo ability no matter what you're going to do. We also have the Unencumbered Mind. Once again, the names are very silly. So if you do any of the flips and you hold the buttons, other things can happen. So if you hold light, you'll just go into a dash. He will not complete the strike. If you hold M, hey, he just flips around. And you can do other stuff from this, by the way, here. You can do M first and go into an L. You can hold L, then flip into an M, that kind of stuff. Hey, we got a Goku, so of course we got a Kamehameha. And it comes in 2 varieties, actually. And yes, of course, it is air okay. So quarter circle forward S, he does a little bit of a front flip forward, and he does the beam. Quarter circle back S, he does a little bit of a back flip. Also counts as part of the flip series, so you can go into your flips here and then cancel into a beam as well. So for what it is, hey, it's a beam. Beams are always good. Has a very aggressive angle, controls a lot of the screen, a lot of prime real estate. So especially as far as air beam goes, in my opinion, it's definitely one of the better air beams. And of course, from all that stuff, you know, vanish out, recombo, all that fun stuff. And our last special move is the Rising Heat. That is down, down, and S. So Rising Heat is a true invincible reversal, as it is invulnerable on the first frame of animation. So it is basically, quote-unquote, your Dragon Punch, your get-off-me move, right? Now, some interesting things to note about this. One, as you might see here, has a big old pillar of light going up, and that truly goes up all the way, like to the top of the skybox. It is legit that big. And it also does hit both sides. So if you're in a situation where, like, for whatever reason you switch sides on Goku, it will connect on both sides. So that is really fantastic. So as far as, like, invincible reversals go, it is, in my opinion, one of the better ones. Now, he can't do it in the air. So no 100% guaranteed saving himself from homing dashes on frame 1. But still, for what it is, fantastic move. Now onto his super move. So we have here another laboriously named move, the Accelerating Battle Spirit. That's his level 1, and it's about what you would expect. One thing to note here, the level 1 without his follow-up, because it does have a follow-up, will always switch sides. And also, its max scalable damage is 750, so it does put it on the lower end of level 1 supers, just so you know. UI Goku's got a lot of tools, so something had to give somewhere, so that's one of them, I guess. So yeah, hold the button here, and he does have a level 2 follow-up. And the level 2 follow-up will put you back on the original side that you were. So if you're a little too worried about side switching, then hey, spend the extra bar, you can be back on your original side. He also has a counter super, as also a level 1. So the general gist of it is, hey, if he gets you, you're got. That's really all there is to it. There's a couple quibbles and a couple notes we can go over, but I'll cover that more in depth later in the video. But as it stands, it's pretty good for what it is. Does counter on frame 1, very important, and we'll talk about that more later too. But yeah, so it's a decent investment in bar if you know something's coming. Definitely make people think twice once you establish it as a threat. And finally here, his level 3 super, the Silver Dragon Flash. So this move is air okay as well, just so you know. Goes forward a fair amount, but you know, raw level 3s are usually more of a desperation move than anything else. Looks beautiful, by the way. The biggest thing to note besides, yo, it's a level 3 and does level 3 things, is it's always gonna leave you full screen from the opponent. I mean, like, even if you did it in the corner and you tailored a combo specifically to make sure you keep the corner, it's still gonna put you at full screen no matter what you do, making its opportunities for a follow-up, thanks to the hard knockdown all level 3s give, a little bit limited, very much by design, and we'll cover that later on in the video. But yeah, hey, as far as level 3 goes, it's one of those. Okay, so now let's go a little more in-depth on the flips here. So Quarter Circle Backlight Medium Heavy series, by itself, Quarter Circle Light is a strike that is plus on block. By itself, Quarter Circle Medium is a true command grab. And it will side switch, by the way, depending on which side you grab them on. And by itself, Quarter Circle Heavy is a semi-invulnerable, not frame 1, move that causes either a crumple stance on the ground or a wall bounce in the air. So combo potential is there. So some things to note about the flips here. The flips themselves, before the moves actually come out, are always projectile invulnerable. And it is full projectile invulnerability, not like a homing dash where it's only Ki Blast or something or whatever. So even if it was a super move, right? Like say, I don't know, like a Goku Black level 3, you can still flip through it just fine. You are 100% projectile invincible while flipping. Now, for say holding the medium here, we can get multiple flips. That's all well and good. So I can hold the medium and then hit light and I'll get the light flip instead. I can hold medium and then hit S, I'll get the Kamehameha instead. I can hold medium, hit heavy, and I'll get the invincible flip instead, right? So I have all these options. However, if you do your flip in the air, it doesn't matter if you hold it or what, you will always be grounded immediately. You do not get the opportunity for multiple flips. There's a lot of potential for mix-ups, because once again here, you can go, oh, am I going to go for a strike? Am I going to go for a command grab? That kind of stuff. And of course, hey, am I going for a command grab? Well, then I'm going for a strike instead, right? There's a lot of potential of you can start one way and then modularly go into another move. So you could commit to the command grab originally and then instead go for the punch, or instead, you know, go for the EX, all that kind of fun stuff. There's a lot of play, counterplay, and all that kind of cool stuff with it. And it plays very well with long hit stun assists, like say the Kid Buu assist, as you can do it during a block string and go flip, 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 flip. Guess which one I'm going to do? Have fun with that. Another note about flips. So the medium flip specifically does steal the corner. Now normally in this game it is very difficult to take the corner from the enemy if you have it, thus removing the left-right potential of a mix-up, right? You can still do high, you can still do low, right? That's all well and good, but while in the corner, generally speaking, left-right goes out the window. However, medium flip doesn't respect that at all. So by itself, it's just a command grab. So command grabs aren't really left-right mixes, but once again, since you can change it in anything, all of a sudden you can do it into the light strike, you can do it into a beam, you can reflip over with the beam, right? There's a lot of options you have on the table when it comes to this stuff here. So like, this is a cross up one way, this is a double reverse cross up where it looked like I was going to steal the corner and cross you up and then took the other side again. So the ability to steal the corner with the medium flip is kind of a big deal, and I highly suggest you play around with it and explore it, because it lets you keep the vicious left-right mix-up potential in the corner where normally you're not supposed to get that. Now let's talk the walk. So I do have another video on the channel, it goes a lot more in depth in it, but I do want to cover it to some degree here. So check out the channel if you want to see the more in-depth version. But Goku, Ultra Instinct Goku, when he walks forward, it's basically all the same properties of having a homing dash. Meaning, basic key blast, yo, he don't care at all. Now, proper beams and all that kind of stuff, yeah, he does have to watch out for those. You're not walking through those. But as far as basic key blasts go, he doesn't have to respect them one lick at all. Now, when it comes to taking the most advantage of this move, you're going to have to assume some level of risk. Because, like, if you stop walking, you get hit, right? If you try to jump, you're going to get hit. If you try to dash forward, all that, you're going to get hit. You can still block. You know, you have enough time against basic key blast to try to block or reflect or do something defensive. You can also say go for his 6H as long as your timing is good, because if your timing is not good, as you can see here, you're going to get blown up. As 6H, the counter stance does not have frame 1 startup. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Now keep in mind, once again, has all the properties defensively of a homing dash. So anything a homing dash can go through, this can go through. So other moves here, like say Jiren, or Ultra Instinct Goku himself here, they have stronger than usual key blast. So you could not homing dash through it, so you also could not walk through it. Keep that in mind. But yeah, he just gets to laugh off a lot of stuff just by the mere act of walking forward, and I think that is pretty cool. Now, going directly from the last section here, hey, his key blast totally rocks homing dashes, by the way. So it's kind of like one step below a beam in that regard. Now, beams still beat it. When it comes to basic key blast versus beams, it's still going to lose out, but it is a step above the regular old key blast as it totally crushes homing dashes. Since it has a lot faster startup than a regular beam, it has a lot of screen control and a lot of stuff you can do in that regard. So if you are fighting a homing dash happy enemy, yo, keep in mind you have that stuff dead to rights. Also, while we're here real quick, the first hit does cause a wall bounce, so you don't actually need the rest of the hit, so you can go like stand S, cancel right into your beam, and you'll do more damage than just the stand S itself. So just keep in mind, if you're going for like, you know, full screen conversions, all that kind of stuff, that will do more damage in the end. Now, one interesting thing about him is he is a character that is allowed to side switch during a regular B&B combo. So if you find yourself in the corner, you are allowed to kind of switch the tables on the enemy and re-corner them themselves. So hey, let's take a little quick look. So here I am in the corner now, and you know what? Screw the corner. I don't want to be in the corner. So let's change that just a little bit. And here we are. Legit. That easy, that peasy. So all you have to do is this. When you're doing the knock-up, do your jump M into your down H, and just wait on the homing just for a split second. Don't do it right away. And yeah, you can sneak in an extra hit like a light or whatever. It just makes the timing more difficult, so, you know, maybe play around with that, see how comfortable you are, right? But yeah, all you have to do is, in this scenario, just launch them, M, down H, and just tiny delay on that homing dash. If you do it too quick, you will remain same side. If you delay it properly, you will switch sides. All there is to it. So, when it comes to just, you know, being in the corner, putting the enemy corner, you never want your back to the wall, and it's always good for you to have their back to the wall. So when you are cornered yourself, hey, give it a shot, switch the tables on them. It's pretty easy. You can probably get it in under like 2 minutes of practice. Another little fun trick he has under his sleeve is quarter circle forward heavy combo extension. And no, I'm actually not talking about the move itself connecting. I'm talking about it completely missing. In this scenario here, Yeah, the move didn't connect, right? But you're awful close to the opponent, and can you work with that? Hey, turns out, yes, you can. So, hey, there's just an example there. And I'm sure you can make the combo even tighter and get more damage out of it in the end. But yeah, it lets you go effectively almost corner to corner, right? So if you're looking for a lot of horizontal space gained, hey, for the cost of half a bar, you can definitely always take them to the corner. So that is pretty cool in my opinion. So there is a bit of a link here. So you want to do this after stand heavy specifically, and if you mash out like right away, you're probably not going to get it. What you got to do is just wait for the character just to fall just a smidge, and if you wait just a smidge, then they'll land in your stand L, and you just go out from there. So a very interesting way to use bar without actually getting the EX move itself off. I find that kind of cool, and once again, hey, UI Goku, he's got tons of cool stuff. More fun notes on just little interactions for UI Goku. One of them is his down heavy. So we've all been in the situation, you know, hey, I did my homing dash at down heavy. Oh, crap. I just burned my homing dash, right? Now I just kind of dropped my combo. So either I'm going to vanish to extend or that's it, right? You made the boo-boo move. Everyone, it happens to the best of us, you know, whatever. But UI Goku, nah, he doesn't got to play that game. No, there wasn't a jump cut there. That was no fancy editing. UI Goku is one of the very few characters in this game blessed with the fact that even if he does launch with the down heavy, he can still jump high enough and reach with his jump light to just recombo from there. So if you are in that specific situation where you did your homing, already burned your down heavy, you can still get something out of it without having to resort to burning a vanish. So all you gotta do, it's non-complex, there's no real trick, just jump up and hit the button. It's really that simple. That's really all you got to do. Just jump up and hit the button. Other characters with this property are like Kefla, right? Kefla can also do the same thing. So if you're ever in that situation where like, whoops, did my homing dash, whoops, did the down H, hey, just keep in mind, you can still just jump straight up and recombo from there. No fuss, no muss. Alright, so let's talk the aerial version of quarter circle backlight here and assist usage. Because this is one of the most brain dead, easy to use, assist friendly moves of the game's history, basically, because no matter where you are in an aerial combo, well, you can just spike the enemy down, be level with them, and call an assist. So here we are on a down heavy, launching them up here, and we're gonna go all the way down, and hey, wouldn't you know it, right? It's really that simple. It doesn't really matter what assist you want to use, for the most part anyways. Definitely plays better with beam assist, especially in the corner, because you can Dragon Rush afterwards. But yeah, his ability for team composition is fantastic because, once again here, all you gotta do is just launch him up, light, quarter circle back light, and he'll always be level to the ground with the enemy, at which point you call your assist, just combo out from there. It's one of the easiest things in the world. I highly suggest any characters you want to work with UI Goku, just play with the assist, because almost every single combination of assists in this game is going to work incredibly easily and incredibly friendly with it. Now, with that previous note said here, I do want to talk about quarter circle backlight, the aerial version, as it is a move that can give you a lot of reliable sliding knockdowns, kind of no matter what. Now, in basic stuff here, like a down heavy starter, you don't want to use it because you already get the smash property sliding knockdown from your light. And if you use it in that regard, you'll overwrite it, and then you won't get a sliding knockdown, as you can see here. Then they get the air tech and they get forward tech, which is never what you want, right? But in a lot of situations where you don't get that light smash down property, then, man, it's just such a good combo ender. Like, so many basic examples where it's so good. Like, say, off a vanish, right? So we can do this, we'll just rush forward, do the auto combo, just get some damage in, and we can always get that sliding knockdown, which is so good, and it's a really good sliding knockdown too, by the way. And of course, as we talked about earlier in the previous segment, hey, if you want an assist as well, easiest time in the world to call an assist. So anytime where you're not going to get like your light ender, or if you're not going for a quarter circle medium, because it does give sliding knockdowns as well, the quarter circle back light is such a fantastic example of a move that can just make anything work. Like corner, right? Anything in this kind of situation here, hey, Want to get that quarter circle back light? You betcha. The light in the air didn't give us sliding knockdown because we already used up smash property and all that kind of stuff. But thanks to this, we can always get that sliding knockdown, and that is so good, right? If you want to call your assist follow-up as well, that's all well and good too, right? But it gives you the ability to get a nice sliding knockdown opportunity when otherwise you might not, because, you know, especially some combos, like, you can't get that quarter circle forward medium at the end, right? Hit stun decay is too high for whatever reason, right? But you can still mash out that LLL in the air, and it gives you opportunities to get sliding knockdowns when your other sliding knockdown tools are no longer available to you. I just want to gush, like, quarter circle back L is so good in so many ways, and we're not done even talking about in the video. There's still more to come on that front. Now, another fun thing to mention for this video is the A assist and grapplers. So Goku's A assist plays very well with grapplers. I'll go over it a little quick here. I do have a video going over the concept more in depth. You can check on the channel, but to just explain it briefly here, basically the A assist hits both sides and up, of course, and you can use the A assist to basically cover any gaps of a command grab. So in this specific basic example here, so I go light, light, medium, medium, go for Broly's medium command grab. During this time, they have quite a few options. They could say vanish out. That is one option here, and I get smacked. They could also just homing dash as well. That is another option on the table. And hey, that's all there is to it. I get smacked out, I get beat. But if we introduce the A assist to this variable, so now if they try to homing dash, hey, not gonna work out so good, because their homing dash just got beat out by the pillar assist. Gonna try and vanish on me? Well, funny story about that. Not so much. And what if I'm a smart cookie? You know, I'm not going to put myself at risk. I'm just going to block everything. Well, herein lies the problem. The command grab hits first, right? So if you try to homing dash out, you try to vanish out, you try to do anything that's not an invincible reversal out, you're going to get smacked. There are other ways to deal with this here. And once again, check the longer video on the subject. But long story short is go for command grab, call A assist, and for the most part, it's going to work out in your favor. You can do it with the B assist to a degree, his beam assist, and I did the wrong assist, there we go. It works better in the corner, as he does appear a good deal behind you in the corner. However, mid-screen, it doesn't work out the same way as much. It can still beat out homing dashes, but vanishes mid-screen not so much. It doesn't have the total coverage. However, in the corner, it works out pretty good. It's a different timing method, but yeah, you can play around with the B assist as well a bit, but generally speaking, the A assist is much better for this concept. So now some notes here on the counter super. One is a big one, yo. It totally can hit assists, or rather, assists can hit it and you'll counter on the enemy. So poor old Jiren standing still, right? Waiting on the Gotenks assist, and when Gotenks does the stuff, Jiren's the one that's going to pay the price for it, as you can see there, right? So it can get basically anything. Like, the move also is arrow K, just so you know. So you can always grab and chuck the enemy. Now, the one thing to note here, this is a big deal. So this is going to catch a lot of people sleeping at the wheel if they don't understand how this all works. So the counter is a true command grab. So no blocking it, no nothing like that. However, it does share property with Cooler, who has a similar move, although it's a level 3 super for him, in that grab is a high, a true high. And what does that mean? Well, it means if the enemy is ducking, nothing happens. That's really all there is to it. So yes, keep in mind, while you can basically tag everything with this, including assists, if the enemy is ducking, the grab is a true high, therefore they will be able to get off scot-free, and they will be able to punish you for doing this. So just buyer beware on that note. Now, speaking on the counter as well. So UI Goku is a character that cannot be effectively safe jump on, right? So that's an example of a safe jump right there, where if I went for my invincible level 3 reversal, I'm going to get beat out, and if I just block, well, then I got to deal with it, right? So here's the thing. The counter super happens on the first possible frame of activation. Therefore, a lot of what makes safe jumps, well, safe, quote unquote, just don't work in this regard. I'll show you very quickly here. So as you saw, the level 3, that totally whipped. That didn't work out. Here, counter works out. The level 3, since it starts on frame 1, has no startup, right? A level 3 has a startup, invincible reversal has a startup. That's what makes safe jump, quote unquote, safe, right? It hits in that in-between time before, where if you didn't do anything, you could be hit, and if you did do something invincible, well, they get to land, and then get the block. But since it starts on the first possible frame, hey, that is taken away from that little safety net, no longer a factor. So if you're looking to keep your opponent guessing and you want to do your wake-ups, right, and you know they're the kind of person that can do safe jumps, keep that in mind. So whereas you might do the level 3, or you might do the pillar, you know, as a get off me, and they're doing their safe jump tech to beat that stuff and then punish it, keep in mind the counter will now beat the safe jump setup. Alright, so now let's talk OKI ZONE, otherwise known just basically as knockdown pressure. So we got a couple of things here, and first up we're going to start just a basic corner B&B here. And that involves using the quarter circle forward and medium. So off basically anything mid-screen wise, you can go to the corner with the enemy and get something akin to this. And you get your knockdown, right? And it's this specific setup we're looking for here, because we need the exact amount of frame data that knockdown from that height gives us to get our OKI setup. So how does this one work? Honestly, super easy. Very little thought or effort is needed on your part. And honestly, hey, that's kind of what you want really in the end. So all you got to do, just jump, forward dash, and H. That easy, that peasy. And what does it beat? Well, a lot of things turned out. So right now the enemy is set to up tech. And yo, we're going to easily crush that. No up techs allowed. What about some fancier stuff here? What about we're going to wake up and vanish? Wake up and vanish? No dice. Up tech or back tech, the vanish gets crushed. Well, it's an airborne move. What if I just wake up down heavy? Turns out, no dice on that. Totally crushes it. The wake up down heavy does not have time to get off the air invincibility frames. And yes, just so you know, it is indeed a safe jump. So wake up level 3s, wake up invincible reversals, no dice. Basically, this simple setup off this very simple basic combo kind of beats everything dead to rights other than the usual culprits of delay wake up and wake up reflect. And you know what? For delay wake up, whatever, you're in their face. It's easy enough to deal with. If you mash buttons, you're going to be plus in front of them. Like, I don't know, it's not too big of a deal, right? And if you get reflected, oh well. That's just part of the risk you run with any setup, right? But yeah, so this basic OKI setup of a very simple combo, it does work. It basically removes pretty much every option the enemy can have. Okay, so for our previous setup here, we needed a very specific attack at a very specific height to get the exact amount of frames we needed, right? Thankfully, it's off a pretty basic combo, so that works out just fine. But what if we wanted to get a little more universal? Hey, quarter circle back light knockdown? About as universal as it gets. Always going to give the same amount of frame advantage no matter where you are on the screen. So let's get a setup off that. So once again here, it doesn't really matter what you do to get the move here as long as you get it. That's the big part here, and get the sliding knockdown, because the frame data is the same. And in the corner after that, what do we want to do? Well, from this scenario here, it's going to involve another empty jump. And what we're going to be doing is this. We're going to just jump and fall a little bit and then go for another quarter circle back light. And just like previously here, yes, this beats back tech. Yes, this beats up tech. Yes, this beats vanish. It has a lot of strengths going, and of course, you know, if it's blocked, which is what you want, ideally, well, unless they're crazy and they take the hit, when whatever, that works out too, right? It's super plus on block, so it's still your turn if they block this setup, right? Like, you get to do whatever shenanigans you want. Now, unlike the previous setup, there is some weaknesses to this. Now, this bad boy here is very decidedly not a safe jump. You will get your head torn off for trying this. Because you're not landing, you can't block, and this is not a move you can like vanish on whiff or anything like that. So you gotta make sure they're not gonna try to wake up and do something funny, right? Very decidedly not a save jump. Yes, still, once again, beats back tech, beats up tech, beats vanish, all that kind of stuff, beats wake up buttons. It brings a lot of things dead to rights, but it's not quite as universal as the previous setup. And once again, since it doesn't beat safe jumps, or rather it's not a safe jump, it is also somewhat susceptible to delay tech, as if they delay tech on you, once again, you can't really save yourself from doing the move, so that is punishable to regard. Now, that said, if it's established, all that kind of stuff, and they want to do fancy stuff like level 3s, or delay techs to bait it out, you can just jump and not follow it up, right? Like, you can protect yourself in a bit of a regard. But yeah, just keep in mind this setup does have a little bit of weakness attached to it. And fair enough, because it is a pretty strong setup that is pretty universal considering how good quarter circle backlight is. Now for the level 3. A lot of level 3s have very strong setups and all that kind of stuff. And Ultra Instinct Goku, well, not as much, I'm sorry to say. So one, it's always going to side switch no matter what. So if you got the enemy in the corner, guess what? You just took him out of the corner. And you took him out of the corner full screen. And even if you manage to steal the corner or whatever, go for level 3, it's always going to put you full screen no matter what you do. There is no way to trick yourself around this, as far as I can tell, at least right now, right? So yeah, you got to deal with the fact you're going to be full screen no matter what. Now, it's not to say you don't get nothing off this, because you do. But it's not as elaborate as some other characters get. Alright, so we got the opponent set up here. He's going to counter with a 6-frame move. Broly down light is 6-framer, right? So, yeah, I don't got nothing real fancy for you on this one. I'm sorry. But it works at least, right? So if they're going to wake up buttons, wake up, do something, just run forward, stand down. Blep. And you'll beat whatever they're going to try to do, right? Since it's not a jump, you got no safe jump property, so if they wake up at level 3 or invincible, you're going to eat crap. But that's kind of long and short of it. You can ensure, thanks to the hard knockdown, run forward, it's your turn. And from that, you can do the basic baby mix-up, where you run forward, don't hit a button, and just drag and rush them. Or, since UI Goku, run forward and you just flip over with a command grab, or something like that, right? Off the level 3, it is very much by design. They definitely intentionally did this. He just can't get the same strong setups other characters can. So when it comes to placing him on a team, I'm going to be real with you. I think he's one of the very few characters in this game that can truly excel on any point of the team you want to put him on. Be it point, be it mid, be it anchor, doesn't matter. He can do it all. He's got one of the most diverse movesets in the game, one of the most total movesets in the game. He can do so much at any given time. You know, if he's point, hey, guess what? Quarter circle back L plays very well with most assists, especially in the corner. He has all sorts of mix-up potential, as simple as an easy bake oven as call high block stun assist, flip, 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 and eventually when high block stun assist gives out, guess strike or grab immediately. And if you guess wrong, eat crap. That cut, that pace, it's not even difficult at all. When it comes to solo stuff, once again, very complete character here. Pretty strong neutral in my opinion here. Stand S is very, very good. The usual beam stuff works out just well for him. His normals aren't the longest range or nothing. It's certainly not like Broly or Cooler or whatever. But it doesn't need to be. Because you know what? Neither was Super Saiyan Goku. And he's one of the best anchors of all time. He has so many tools to work with. Of course, as an anchor position, quarter circle forward heavy is one of the more spammable moves in the game. Very low consequence for getting blocked. So you can go from there, and of course, full combo one hit, and if he's anchor, limit break, so you're going to do a lot more damage, because limit breaks and EX moves get very well along together. That's fantastic. And as a mid, well, hey, whatever. His assist options are good. You can take a traditional beam, sure, whatever. I think his A assist is completely fantastic for so many reasons. Be it, hey, as good as a DP assist, the hitbox is very good, because it truly goes all the way up in the sky, enables so many things for so many characters. And there's gimmicks, as we went over in this video. I have another video already covered for UI Goku, the gimmicks that it allows. You can just do whatever, man. Like, honestly, I just say this right now. Go with your heart. Whatever your heart tells you, I do not think you can go wrong with this character. He truly fits well in any point of a team. And yeah, like, man, where do I even finish this up on, right? UI Goku is, in my opinion, one of the most complete characters in this game, period, and one of the more fascinating fighting game characters in the history of fighting games. I've been at this since, like, what, 1991 when my arcade first got Street Fighter 2, so I've been around for just about every game, right? I've seen a lot of stuff over the years, to say the least. And UI Goku is like, wow, just what can't he do, right? Like, the only thing is I can really knock him is his damage is good, but I guess it's not high damage. You know, he doesn't have King Kong normals, and the frame data and a couple things might be a little suspect, but you know what? Overall, given the toolbox, just wow, what a complete character, and he can do most things he wants. If you're a big online player, you know, I am myself, he's a character that gets way better and the laggier the match gets too. So if you're playing on suspect connections, yo, no one's going to deal with this garbage very well on the laggy connection. I can definitely tell you that, right? But yeah, just what a good character. Like, kudos to Arc System Works. This guy's, he's the real deal. Will he shape up to be like the best character in the game in the end? I don't know about that. We'll see. But he's definitely one of the better characters, to say the least. So go out, have fun with him. This whole video guide, man, is like, I'm just scraping like the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's going to be so much more dirt found with him over the course of the time, as long as he doesn't get nerfed or something, right? But yeah, man, good character. Hope you have fun with him. And in the end, I guess that's the end of this video. So hey, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.